Well, this session is recorded for have a history about our events and information. About a few words about Bernier Group and Spin Quantum Tech. We are a Colombian and British company focused on artificial intelligence solutions and now researching on quantum computing algorithms. For the last 5 years, we creating a few algorithms in artificial intelligence more focused on marketing, sales, information using the financial transaction from the ERP or accounting software. Well, before start thinking the canvas for artificial intelligence, I think the first question that is important to make is what is artificial intelligence? And artificial intelligence, more thinking or applied to business, is a new technology and is marked like disruptive technology from the Singularity University in USA. It's a technology that could empower business to use more data, to make better decisions, to understand the information and improve or simplify the business model. But artificial intelligence today has a lot of activities and new ways to continue in the process because, well, artificial intelligence for the last maybe 20, 30 years has a good new features, but we are facing the most exciting features for the next years with artificial intelligence. And thanks for the processing power that would have used quantum computing and the technology in maybe few months or years will have in well, artificial intelligence, we can think that technology as, uh, as the option or the ability for a machine to process information, make a learning process from that. And maybe the big benefit of artificial intelligence is the ability to learn, maybe create correlations and have new features or decisions with that information and continue the training process the whole time and reduce the time to make that decision. Today, artificial intelligence in the background works with mathematical models, statistical and probabilistic models. So the options that we have try to understand the environment is a lot of calculus in the process. But we need to say artificial intelligence is not like the Hollywood or the movies show to us. It's not like Terminator or the artificial intelligence movie uh, 2000s about the that child that get lost in the forest and other kind of movies. That is not the real vision of artificial intelligence. It's more that systems and a few algorithms that could improve the business process or could help us to make better decisions or to process a lot of information. And we have artificial intelligence in an easy way using lives, using a Google search, using Netflix, using YouTube, for example, and other kind of small tools. The smartphones has artificial intelligence today to take a picture or to understand the assistant. For example, the iPhone use Siri or Amazon has Alexa, Windows now has Cortana and has their assistant too. So well, we have the artificial intelligence today for help us with a few and small tasks, and in the business is maybe the same. We could use artificial intelligence to make a few activities or process, improving the time, taking the advantage of the opportunity to simplify and to give a better response to the user, to the final user. But well, we have a lot of things today to continue creating and understanding with artificial intelligence. And when the processing power will increase, we will have the opportunity to create better artificial intelligence solutions. Sorry, Jagan, let me share again the screen. I'm sharing again the screen. Can you see the screen? Okay, okay, Jagan. Well, continue with the process. I think the next question about artificial intelligence before thinking the canvas is why a business need artificial intelligence today? Maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago, thinking of in artificial intelligence is only an idea or a dream for a business. But today, a company that doesn't think or don't start to use artificial intelligence, well, the process for the future will be very hard to make the competition, to create new features to grow in the market. Artificial intelligence is not a fashion, is a solution or technology that really empower business today and helps with small and repetitive or frequently activities to really give value, transfer value to the business model. I think around the world, the business need start thinking in artificial intelligence because, well, we need to be more competitive, work 7 days and 24 hours, and give the response or have the ability to process the information and convert that information in more insights. So we really need to start thinking in artificial intelligence, and the companies that today already use artificial intelligence has a big advantage in the market today. So well, our suggestion about that is start thinking in artificial intelligence, make a research and a process for that to understand how artificial intelligence could really help and empower a business is the canvas that is the objective of that session. So for that, we introduced to you the artificial intelligence canvas created by our companies Vernier Group and Spin Quantum Tech. That canvas is, or maybe collect the last 4 years of experience creating a lot of projects in Latin America about artificial intelligence with a huge kind of industries, big companies, multinational companies, small companies, entrepreneurships or startup companies. So we have a good and big population of companies and business cases and models, and that help us to create or try to summarize the information about how you can start thinking in artificial intelligence with that canvas. Well, I want to show you that process and maybe start with that part of the center, because artificial intelligence is a solution that we need to think to simplify the business model and create or transfer value to the business model. And when I say the business model, we need to think in the final user, the internet user, providers or suppliers for the organization, the employees, or I prefer to say the co-workers or colleagues in the company, the stakeholders, the owners of the company, the government, and well, the whole ecosystem that we have in the business model. We really need to use or embrace artificial intelligence to create value. And that value is not only about money or cash. That is very important, and artificial intelligence needs to help in that business area, but we need to create value in other maybe resources like time, for example, empower the users to have the solutions maybe or almost in real time, or closest to the real time solution. So we really need to simplify the business model and transfer value. That is the first decision when we start thinking in artificial intelligence. After that, it's very important when you think to start using artificial intelligence, maybe you need to start having a business model or enterprise architecture. Artificial intelligence is not like a magic wand, and you can change the whole business only touching or applying that solution. Artificial intelligence needs to collaborate or integrate into the business process, is a new layer of the company, and needs to have communication between the business areas, take the advantage of the information or of the data, of empower that data that the companies already have. So it is very important that for the start of the process, you have a business model and enterprise architecture defined, and you really understand what is happening with your business model. We suggest that is a Canvas solution, so you can use the Canvas business model for Alex Osterwalder to have that vision of your business model. And in that process, in the middle of that canvas is the value proposition, so you can uh, continue building in the middle of the artificial intelligence process the value proposition created with artificial intelligence, and how you can simplify the business model. It's very important to start the process with a really business model clear in that solution. The second stage for that, let me change, is about what could do with artificial intelligence, or what the business need about artificial intelligence. So not should be a problem, could be a situation, a challenge, could be a new opportunity on the business model. So we need to really have a deep understanding what we are facing for solve with artificial intelligence, and what kind of questions we need to solve with artificial intelligence. Today, artificial intelligence has a big abilities and opportunities, but is maybe like the brain of a fly or something like that. So we really need to create the right questions to have a good solution with the artificial intelligence. So for that, our recommendation is always understand the situation. That situation could be also a problem or a challenge that my company is facing, and convert that in specific questions that I need to solve in the process. If I can create that questions, it's more easier for the artificial intelligence create a response and have a clear path to solve that process in artificial intelligence. After having that information, we can go to this part of the canvas, thinking what is the or which is the opportunity using artificial intelligence. For example, with artificial intelligence, always we need to have a mind, or a comparison between how can I solve the problem without artificial intelligence, and how can I solve using artificial intelligence. And if I use artificial intelligence, which could be the opportunity for my business model? How can I diversificate the business model? How can create new value for the business model, new services? How can empower my business model using the data, or be a digital business model? How can expand or be a global company using artificial intelligence? So start thinking in artificial intelligence, and this part of the opportunity maybe introduce to us the mind of the exponential business model, and we need to start thinking how can really transform our business model in the process. So well, we need to understand the opportunity, and that opportunity comes from understand the situation or the problem or challenge, and the questions that we need to solve. When I understood the opportunity, I can create the responses to that kind of questions. That response is more about how I need the information that the artificial intelligence needs to deliver to me, and how is the maybe the format, how can use that information to continue using in the systems that I have today in my company, for example, the CRM, the ERP, or other kind of systems. And with that information or that responses, it's very important to say which kind of decisions the artificial intelligence could make and which kind of actions the artificial intelligence could make. And it's important to say what is a decision for that and what could be the actions, because I could say for artificial intelligence, a decision could say, for example, send an information or make a prediction or suggestion about how you can manage a customer, or how you can manage your inventory, or how can you manage your cash flow. But it's different to say make a contact to that customer and send that kind of message, or make a change for that payment restriction or something like that. So I can save my, or I need to create a scope for the artificial intelligence and define which kind of decisions it should be taken for the artificial intelligence, and the same with the actions. When I have that information clear in the process, I could go to that stage of the canvas, and it's about the data sources. That is very important, and maybe the 30 or 40% of the cost of the prediction with artificial intelligence comes from the data source and data storage. We need to understand really which kind of information is helpful to create the predictions. Sometimes we have the trend to think that giving a lot of information to artificial intelligence, include the whole variables, or as much as we can variables in the model to artificial intelligence, is the best option. And when you add more variables, more data sources to the artificial intelligence, maybe you are growing exponentially the complexity of the artificial intelligence. And with that, the cost of the prediction and the time to get that prediction. So it's very important to understand the data sources that I will use for that process, and how I will storage that information to be useful for the artificial intelligence. And it's very important here because that part, data sources and data storage, have a big impact in the time to make a prediction. Just because if you need to transfer a lot of data to the artificial intelligence engine, it could take maybe seconds, minutes, or more time to transfer that information. And also is a concern about data security in the process. So we really need to think and strategy about data sources. So how I connect to the API services or other database systems, or using spreadsheet files, something like that. And how can storage that data, and is not only think in databases. Well, that icon is more for database, but it's not only think in databases. Today we can think in big data system, data lakes, file storage. So we need to make simple the process to storage the data for the artificial intelligence, and simplify the access to the data for the artificial intelligence. Because if we could reduce time to access the data, we are making more faster the system and reducing the cost of the prediction. And with that data storage, is very important thing in how I can transform the data for that process. Sometimes we think, and other mistake in artificial intelligence is think that the AI algorithms need to make the whole transformation and process of the information. So sometimes a few transformation of the data could be made in the data source or in the data storage, and that really make more efficient the process to send the information to the artificial intelligence. Also, we need to identify how can we transform the data in the artificial intelligence algorithm to make that data really trustable and useful for the artificial intelligence. When you have that process, data sources, data storage, and the transformation, you are creating the first stage of the information, and that information is a base for creating knowledge for your company. With artificial intelligence, one of the maybe hidden benefits of use artificial intelligence is the opportunity to create corporate knowledge for the company. No matter how you apply artificial intelligence, the the whole set of predictions that you use in time will convert in a knowledge base that could be usable in the business model to improve and make better decisions and continue creating or adding more artificial intelligence layers. But it's important to say how you can use that knowledge and how you can empower the business model to use that information, creating and continue making the process or growing or improving the business model. Also, it's very important identify which kind of resources we need to use artificial intelligence or to work with artificial intelligence. And when I say resources, it's not only about the offices or facilities or servers and technology. Also, it's about uh, the team that we need, the people that we need for the process, the skills that we need to involve in the process, the time for that, and the access to the information. So it's really very important to identify which kind of resources we need for that. And when I say the skills and the knowledge for that skills or people in the process is very important in that resources because well, artificial intelligence today is a process that maybe you can hear like data science, and is a new skill or yes, or talent in a few people around the world. Maybe it's the unicorns that really understand the business model, understand the backgrounds in mathematics, statistical information, probability, understand technology. So there are programmers or developers in the process and has a big or a strong knowledge in database. So it's very important to define the team or the skills for people or person that could manage that and the other resources that that person has, processing power, storage. And when you say that storage, you need to make the calculus about how your storage will grow in time. That is very important with artificial intelligence. And that is important because in the next step, we need to think how the current process that we are working today as a business process, it's transformed to be a business algorithm, and an algorithm that has the ability to communicate and collaborate with people in the business model. So it's an hybrid process that have maybe handle of manual activities and technology activities or artificial intelligence activities that is automatized in the process. So we need to think the transformation between process to algorithm, but it not say to change maybe the boxes on the process or in the flow diagram flow for the process, only change the boxes to say that is a new box for artificial intelligence. Is really convert the mind of the process to be an algorithm that is transversal for the whole organization or the whole business model and create value in the process. For that, we always suggest start planning the new algorithm. After planning the new algorithm, create an execution of that algorithm, collect the information for the process with that algorithm, and always improve and innovate. Remember, when you change the process to algorithm and make that transformation, you are thinking in the big change of create a solution that learned the whole time. Every time that you run your algorithm, you will learn something about that. It's not always not only about the artificial intelligence training process. Is also about how your company in each run or execution of the algorithm is creating knowledge. So we need to think how the process converts to a new algorithm in the solution, how we can identify the specific interactions with people in the process to really understand how we can be more efficient, reduce times, reduce the resources that we need to do that, which kind of decisions of actions could be taken by the artificial intelligence to be more efficient in the process. That is very important with the process with converting process to algorithm. After that, we need to think more in the benefits for the internal and external users. Sometimes a mistake with artificial intelligence is think that only the external or the final users uh, should receive the benefit of the artificial intelligence solution. Also, the people working into the company, the internal user, needs to have to receive value and benefits from the artificial intelligence, reducing the activities, creating more free time to create value or to focus in the business model. So we really need to understand which could be the benefits for that kind of users, internal and external users. Also, is very important, create the KPIs or the success criteria to work with artificial intelligence. I know that artificial intelligence is a training and learning process, and the artificial intelligence takes a time to be efficient and be in the optimum maybe point. But we need to create a measure how artificial intelligence really is making an improve in the business process, how is creating a positive impact in the business process, and we need to measure that information. It's not only try to measure the return of the investment. We really need to understand about more efficient in time, more efficient in resources, how the final user or the internal users is perceiving the value of my company, of my brand with the artificial intelligence, how can really simplify the business model. So we need to make a measure about that, and with that we can make a measure how we are optimizing the uses of the resources in the company. And it's not only say maybe we are using less paper in the process, we are reducing the number of telephone calls or of the emails in our company. Is also about how we're really reducing cost in the process or in the company with artificial intelligence. And that is the last thing with our artificial intelligence canvas. I said, starting the process, you need to think how I can solve the problem without artificial intelligence and with artificial intelligence. And well, today, when I don't use artificial intelligence, I need to put my operation cost here to say, well, today I solve the things. It maybe is not the more efficient way, but I solve the activities and it costs to my company per week or per month that amount. How will be the cost when artificial intelligence is in operation, when is running? Is not the cost for the train of the artificial intelligence, is the cost to support and maintain the artificial intelligence. And we need to compare that values. And if the AI cost is lower than the operation cost, well, artificial intelligence really could be a solution for your company. And that is very important because the last question with artificial intelligence is how much is the cost for one prediction? We always need to think about the cost of the prediction, because sometimes we think that artificial intelligence really could solve any kind of problems in the business model, but we really need to have the cost of the prediction. For example, when we start creating a new service or new solution in the company or new project, we always think how is the cost to maintain this project, or how is the cost for the next step in the project. With artificial intelligence is the same. We need to have the cost for one prediction, and the cost could be in pennies, or could be in pounds, dollars, or where other kind of amounts in the process. And we really need to validate if that cost is really a good option for our company. The last thing that we want to share to you today is make a few comments about the future for artificial intelligence is in quantum computing. And looking for that future, we are creating also a small model for Canvas for create quantum computing algorithms. And is a very similar solution. You start with understanding what kind of problem or situation we could solve with quantum computing, what kind of solution we need to create, and that is make a comparison between the actual technology that we have today, including artificial intelligence in the state of the art that we have today. So, which kind of resources, time, solution with the actual technology, and the cost of the actual technology. And the same using quantum computing. So we need to create a match between them. And if quantum computing is a real solution for that, well, the solution could be use quantum. Also, we need to identify which is the input data, the output data of the process, the benefit with the actual tech, and the benefit with quantum computing. And again, that is over the business model and enterprise architecture that we need to have in the process. Maybe in a next webinar, we will be more deeper in the quantum computing canvas and explaining more information about the quantum computing opportunity and technologies. And well, that is maybe 30 minutes of our webinar of today. If you have any kind of questions, you can make in the chat. I invite you to follow us in our LinkedIn pages. Spin Quantum Tech and Grupo Vernier is the the pages that we have in LinkedIn or my personal profile. You can follow us in that system. We always respond any kind of question. Sometimes we maybe frequently 2 or 3 times per week we post information about artificial intelligence, the focus of the business model with artificial intelligence, information about quantum computing. So well, you are invited to join to our community and continue getting more information about that both technologies, AI and quantum computing. So thanks for joining to that session today. And if you have questions, you can make in the chat.